Chris, Jeremiah, congratulations. You made it to the final round of this competition, which means that you're both one step closer to the title of Forged in Fire champion and a check for $10,000. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is a pair of Viking war axes. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 5 days.
It feels good to be home, back out where there's no people. I'm not a big people person. Today, I'm making 2 Viking axes. I've made some tomahawks in the past and some axes in the past. I use a lot of low-layer Damascus, so I'm gonna do 1 17-layer billet. Hopefully out of that, I can get what I need for both axes. This is a bigger billet. Normally, I start with the 13-layer. Lucky me. To get them both turned and the eye formed, I'm just gonna cut a little 2-inch piece of 1.5-inch round stock, and then I can start turning the eye. Jeremiah's been bladesmithing for a few decades, and I've been doing it for a couple years, so I'm kind of the underdog, so to speak, but I love the challenges that come with that. I'll feel good when it's done and it's right. Probably another 3 days before I'll feel good.
I'm excited to get working on these Viking axes.
I'm taking the advantage of having 2 forges so that hopefully I can get it done twice as fast.
If I learned anything from the first 2 challenges is that I need to stand on the shoulders of giants. I'm gonna stand on the shoulders of history, and I'm doing as close to traditional as I can.
What I'm gonna do now is put this one into the gas forge, switch the other one out, and get them both to the same spot.
My biggest concern is that I get them identical. Being a blacksmith, people want things that look exactly the same all the time. So not to say that it's easy, but it's a challenge that I'm prepared for.
They're identical.
I'm pretty happy with what I got done yesterday. Pretty much have all the forging done. I can go on to the heat treat. My biggest concern, just a nice even heat all the way around. The heat treat is everything. A lot of things can go wrong. Twistage, warpage, breakage, bendage, edge, whatever. If it's not heat treated, then it's just a pretty looking wall hanger. Well, she's straight. Time to do it again. Two for 2 so far. It feels good to have the heat treat successful. I don't know if you could tell or not, but I was pretty nervous. Yeah.
I'm forge welding a high carbon bit into the body of the axe, making a durable edge, which is historical.
I'm so nervous I'm shaking.
Whenever you do a forge weld, there's always the chance that something could go wrong. If the welds fail, I won't have anything.
They got way too thin right up back here. The seams are showing. The welds are not gonna hold. This is the worst thing that I could have imagined.
I need to start over. I'm in big trouble.
There's no room for these emotions right now. I have a job that needs to get done. I don't quit until the work is done.
Today's all about getting the handles fit up. I'm doing a pressure fit. There's no epoxy, there's no pins. It's a purely mechanical fit. It just slides on in a tap and locks it into place. And if the pressure fit's not right, any good shock to it could drop it down. One of my axes doesn't match the other one. The bottom's wider than the top, and it needs to be tapered the other way. So the only choice I have is to do it from the top down and put a wedge in it. I guarantee that Jeremiah is gonna do a pressure fit because that's the way it's supposed to be. So I didn't want to be the guy that took the easy way out and just put a wedge in it and called it good. The most annoying thing is that it's historically not correct. And hopefully that's not what bites me in the ass.
As you know, I'm still nursing an injury. To be my arm today, I'm bringing a special guest from our Kaitakali. Please welcome Staff Sergeant Chris Mans. Today, he will be my arm, or arms, to test your weapons. Chris, you're up first. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Chris, let's talk about your Viking war axes. On the initial cut, the long beard that you have right there hooked all the ribs. And of course, the beauty of having a secondary weapon is that when he pulled it out, he had enough attacks to disembowel everything. Overall, sir, your Viking war axe will kill.
Thank you.
Jeremiah, shall we do this?
Yes, we shall.
All right, Jeremiah, your Viking war axes are razor sharp. It not only blew through the ribs, but dug in, breaking through the lungs and into the heart. It is fast and light, and it will kill.
Thank you.
To test the strength and overall construction of your war axes, I'll be throwing them 3 times with each axe into our mock-up of a drawbridge. Now, hopefully, they'll stay tight and right, not loosen up. Chris, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Chris, first off, they're balanced nicely and they match, which is really what I was looking for. That stout edge, though, kind of keeps them from penetrating overly deep. You can see right about here is just a small roll in 2 spots. But they're solid, they're still together. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Jeremiah, you ready?
Didn't get dressed up for nothing.
So, first off, Jeremiah, they feel like they weigh the same. They definitely throw the same. And having that curve on the blade allows it to dig a lot deeper than having a flat edge. But the bottom line is, neither of your blades took any damage. Well done.
Thank you.
To test the sharpness of your blades, see how they held up, I'm going to take your axes and deliver 3 shots to these 3 fish. Chris, you're up first. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, Chris, the gods of war will be happy. There's blood on your axe. It's a good day. The shape of that blade, I was a little concerned just because it's flat, but it really just cut right through those fish. Very, very sharp blades. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Jeremiah, you're up. You ready?
Time for sushi.
Well, Jeremiah, same effect. Your axes are bloodied. They're now honorable Viking war axes. They are beautiful. I like what you did with the copper inlay. Not a huge fan in how thin the handles are. To swing it took a little bit more finger gripping. 2 very well-made axes, obviously sharp. Well done.
Thank you.
Chris, Jeremiah, the judges have examined your work and they've tested your weapons and they've made their final decision. The Forged in Fire champion is Jeremiah. Congratulations. Chris, your axes did not make the cut. Doug Marcaida will tell you why.
Chris, both weapons performed equally all the way through, but in the strength test, one of your axes took damage on its edge. That made us decide that you're going home.
I understand.
Chris, please surrender your war axes.
You're always disappointed if you don't win, but the experience that you get from this competition, I've loved every minute of it. I'm gonna go back home and keep making knives. And I'll probably make a Viking axe on the side.
Jeremiah, congratulations. You are our new Forged in Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for 10 grand. How do you feel?
That's amazing.
You did excellent work. Please present your axes to the judges.
I did it. I won Forged in Fire. To be validated as a smith this way is really cool. This is a win for my family, certainly a win for the history books. Stay in school, study your history. It'll come in handy.
Gabe, Clarence, congratulations. You've made it to the final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges, where you will recreate an iconic weapon from history. Make no mistake, gentlemen, this is a tough sword to make. The last time this was issued as a final challenge, one of our competitors did not meet the parameters. That weapon is the Viking sword. From the 8th to 11th century, the Vikings were the scourge of the northern European coast. One of their most effective tools for raiding and pillaging was a Viking sword, a straight-edged iron sword with a rounded tip and double edge. The Viking sword was built to break through an opponent's defenses using big slashing blows. Since the blade was heavy and usually swung with one hand, a large pommel and hilt were used to balance the weight of the blade. Viking swords were often highly prized by their owners and given names such as Battlesnake and Dog of the Helmet. One was featured in the 2007 epic film Beowulf. This is your redemption. This could be your last chance to show the world what you're truly capable of. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 5 days.
Best of luck to you.
Best of luck, man. It's day one at my home forge. I suppose it gives me advantages. I've never made a Viking sword before, but I'm feeling confident. It's a coal forge. I made it years ago. This is gonna be something. By the end of the day, I'd like to have the sword at least partially forged. My point established, the bevels forged into place. If I'm halfway down the sword blade and I can finish forging tomorrow, that would be ideal.
We're here at Dragonfly Forge. Today we'll be making a billet out of 2 pieces of forge welded cable, which will cut, twist, weld. The cable has about 200 strands each, so when the 2 are combined, it's going to be about 400 wires comprising the billet. It'll make a very, very strong blade. Hopefully I can get those 2 put together. That didn't quite go how we wanted. As I was forging the 2 pieces of cable together, the first heat, I couldn't get the forge weld to stick. I just can't get the sweet spot. I need it to be hot enough. It's not getting a full combustion. That's why it's like so much gas that it can't all burn. The next one, I got a little hotter and she stuck. The welds look great.
Today, I just want to draw out this bar. I rethought some of the things from yesterday, and I think I was a little rushed. Today, I'm going to take my time, make sure I draw out that bar and get the metal kind of slimmed down, thinner, longer, and that way it'll also be easier to heat. It's hot. I'm tired. Not used to being tired from forging. A little bit worried about running out of time. So it's hard to work when you don't have the energy. I'm really worn out. I hope I can get through this.
It's now the start of day 3. Really looking pretty darn good at this stage. The quench is really the make or break point of the blade. It's about ready for the moment of truth. I cannot afford a failure. The absolute worst thing that can happen during a quench is to have a fatal crack. There's no choice but to start over at that point. Pretty damn straight. Looks good. We're over the largest hump of the whole project now.
Day 5. The plan is to finish everything. Grind, put the guard and the handle on, and quench the blade. Working a sword like this by hand, especially it being the first of these that I've done, a lot of difficulties. The quench went all right. We've got quite a bit of bend in here. And I, of course, don't want to snap it. This is really frightening. Got a lot of it out. I'm ready to finish. Initially, I had a different type of pommel setup that I wanted to do. I'm not gonna have time, so I have to improvise. Well, we made it work. Feels good.
It's now the final day, and I have all the assembly to do. Although there's still a lot to do today, I'm confident I can pull it off. The handle is a two-piece hardwood core over the tang, and that's going to be wrapped in leather. It's a very simple and utilitarian handle design. Okay, I think that did the trick. We only have a few hours left, so I'm engraving the Roman numerals 13 on here. 13 is a lucky number in my family. Wouldn't hurt to have a little extra luck. It's time to pack this thing up.
Gentlemen, to test the sharpness of your blade, I'll be cutting into our cargo net here. Now, Gabe, you're up first. Are you ready for this?
Definitely.
All right. Well, Gabe, that blade made pretty short work of that rope net. The weight overall is a nice feel. Definitely did a good job. Definitely a sharp weapon. It felt good cutting. Nicely done, Gabe.
Thank you.
All right, Clarence, your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, so Clarence, a couple of things I really like about this blade. The weight is very nice and the balance is very well done. This big lip in the handle, though, is really not very comfortable on the hand. But your blade did well, cut nicely. Well done.
Bladesmiths, the Viking sword, wielded by the hands of the feared Viking warriors, forged for one purpose: kill the enemy. To see how lethal your weapons are, I will take your Viking sword and deliver killing blows on this ballistics dummy. Let's see what kind of damage your weapon can do. Gabe, you're up first. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Okay, Gabe, the handle is comfortable with the wrapping that you did there. It feels good. As you can see, it lacerated the chest. The chest cavity here even took out some bones of the ribs. It is sharp on both edges and penetrated easily on this ballistics dummy. And most importantly, it will kill. Good job.
Thank you.
Clarence, you're up next. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Clarence, it feels good to wield. It's got great balance to it. The one thing that it didn't do was cut cleanly through the ballistics dummy. It felt like it was bouncing off, and I'm wondering if that's your edge geometry here being thick and the sharpness of your blade. But in the cuts that it did do, the weight did penetrate, broke some bones. It penetrated on a deep thrust coming out, and that would be a very lethal wound. And your weapon will kill.
Now, the Viking sword was commonly used in conjunction with a shield, so to test the strength of your sword, I'm going to take 4 blows into these wooden shield edges, 2 with either edge of your blade. Gabe, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, so Gabe, still in the same shape it was in. It's good. It's kept its straightness. It feels like your edge held up really nicely. Definitely cut into the shield good. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Clarence, you're up. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, Clarence, your edge held up nicely. That handle still, in my hand, is still a bit of an issue. But swinging it, the weight and the balance is really nice. All in all, well done.
Thank you.
Gabe, Clarence, your road to redemption was a gauntlet. The judges have deliberated and they've made a final decision. The Forged in Fire champion is Gabe, congratulations. Clarence, please surrender your weapon.
The first time I competed, I wound up out in round 1. This time I've made it through to the finale, so I may not be a Forged in Fire champion, but I have proven to myself that I can go much further than I thought, so there'll be definitely lots more to look forward to.
Gabe, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion and will be receiving that check for 10 grand. That's not redemption. I don't know what is, brother.
Feels so sweet after all that.
I love the dimensions of that blade. It's a great cutter. When I was going through that rope, it just went right through. You definitely know how to put an edge on something.
I feel like I've completely redeemed myself. Feels incredible. I never thought that the title Forged in Fire champion would mean as much as it does to me right now.